This is Smarter Markets. We're back at Boca 50, sponsored by the FIA. And we're joined by Anthony Crudele, and you are the host of Futures Radio and also Senior Vice President of NinjaTrader Live.
Yep. Multitasking.
You are. And from the little bit you've been able to tell me about it so far, and we'll get into it, I really appreciate you taking the time away because you do sound very busy. I wanted to ask you first, though, it is the 50 years of Boca. And we got to sit down with you last year, so I appreciate you having you back again. We've been asking everybody, roughly how long they've been coming down. And I'm curious, how many years have you been coming down to Boca?
I believe 2014 was my first year, so just over a decade.
And what keeps you coming back?
As far as futures conferences go, I would say that FIA Boca is the best represented. Pretty much everyone here is really dedicated to the growth of futures, as they are with all of them, but this is the global one, I would say, even though it's here in Florida. You see people from all over the world here, so it's always great to see everybody.
It's great. And I imagine the thing you're talking with people about this year is NinjaTrader Live, is that right?
Yeah, this year NinjaTrader Live is the focus because we launched 3/17. Which is St. Patrick's Day. It's kind of an interesting launch day. Ninja Chicago company, so I guess it kind of goes hand in hand. So there'll be a little celebration maybe afterwards.
But dyed the river green.
Yeah, I mean, our colors aren't green, even though I have green on today. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, no, I had my red jacket on yesterday for Ninja. But yeah, so that's really the primary focus.
And what can you explain Ninja a little bit to people who haven't heard about it yet?
Well, so NinjaTrader is a technology company along with a broker, right? And so Ninja services retail traders. Nearly 2 million traders are on the platform, and retail futures. I mean, that's the focus. I mean, you look at this place. I mean, this place is all focused on futures, but NinjaTrader only does futures, and a lot of these other firms here are multi-asset. But NinjaTrader is focused on the retail futures trader.
And a big focus of lots of the sessions have been on the retail traders and how they're kind of transforming the futures markets. How do you see it from your seat?
I hosted a panel on that this year, the retail revolution. And the question I posed to the audience was, is this just happening now, or has this been happening for over 20 years? So when I first started in the space in the mid-90s, the E-mini S&P was launched in 1997. And initially that was like, oh, okay, are we going to retail now, right? Because you took a contract, the S&P 500 pit contract, you didn't turn it into an electronic contract, but it was created alongside the pit. And then fast forward, you have micros, you have prediction markets, event contracts. And so more and more things are feeding towards the retail trader. So I would say that this revolution is more of an evolution. It's happened over time. I mean, the one thing that, with me joining forces with NinjaTrader is NinjaTrader has been ahead of the game, pretty much above everybody when it comes to retail trading, because again, futures only focus on the retail trader. And you can go back, 10 years ago as NinjaTrader was, a small little company, obviously much larger now. And you hear the exchanges say, well, we don't even really focus on retail, right? FIA was never brought up here. You talked about when I was here, 2010 is roughly, or 2014, I believe is when I started here or first came here. And if you go back and look then, there was no retail trading discussions. That has changed because volumes speak for themselves. The retail trader is here to stay, and the retail trader is a lot more sophisticated than I think people give him credit for.
And do you see the retail traders moving into newer markets now, or different markets than they may have been in a couple years ago?
Yeah, but not as much as I would like personally. I think that so many traders focus too much on the indexes. The indexes are what they're familiar with, so I understand it, I get it. But I do think that there's probably a lot of traders out there that are trading indexes that should be looking at crude oil, should be looking at natural gas, and they've got micros for these products too. Gold, micro gold. I think that they should be looking at the treasury markets. Why? Because sometimes people aren't just built to trade the indexes. Let's just call it what it is, right? Indexes are pretty volatile, as we've seen lately, right? They're really busy. Some people you can trade a market that's maybe a little bit slower, or maybe even a higher tick value at lower volatility, or just there's many different products out there that I think offer opportunities for retail traders to have success in. But it's getting there. Again, the surge in growth's coming now. I think into new products is coming.
And it may be too soon to tell, but obviously, new administration, a lot of volatility in the markets, some pretty big moves the past week. Curious how you're seeing like the retail traders reacting in this environment, if you're able to gauge that.
Well, I will tell you this. And I put a tweet out about this. Can we call it a tweet still? We can call it a post. It's hard to go from a tweet to a post. It's just not natural. But I put a tweet about this, and I said, right now, the undisciplined are going to get punished, and they'll fail, and the disciplined and the patient will thrive. And I think that's one of the defining characteristics between a retail trader. And like I said, retail trader, I think, is pretty great now, because I think you could be a trader who just started yesterday, or a trader who's been trading for 20 years who's got, several $100,000 in their account. They both might be classified as retail, although they're very different. But when you look at, I think a defining characteristic that's different is that a retail trader comes into a market like this, has never seen it before, no experience, and they're going to struggle because the volatility is going to get the best of them. They're going to have FOMO, they're going to overtrade, and they're just going to be click happy and be unsuccessful. It's likely what we're seeing a lot of right now. And I think that that's a problem that I'm hoping with NinjaTrader Live and just other things we're doing at NinjaTrader, trader development, trader engagement, to help traders make better decisions in the moment. Because remember, trading is an in-the-moment business. And when you get moments like this, a lot of traders blow up because they just mentally aren't prepared for these types of markets.
Yeah. And I think it's been a market for a while where holding on and staying long has often been rewarded. Do you feel like we're moving into a different bad habit? Yeah.
Yeah, they teach a bad habit there, right? I mean, technicians look like geniuses in bull markets. And when that changes, all of a sudden, this is where traders are different from technicians. Traders will say, this is just not my environment, and step away. Not to cut you off, but it was such an important point that I think you're going to have an administration now that's constantly, this is a new cycle, right? And it's hard for everybody, I don't care how long they've been doing this, to adapt to what President Trump's administration is doing. It's not going to be easy, because he's really a different president. Before he'd see the market, you wait for the good tweet. That's not happening right now. So we're all adapting. But again, retail traders just have to be able to take a step back, be small, be smart, and learn. And they'll be able to adapt, because they're a lot smarter than people give them credit for. But they need to just pump the brakes a little bit sometimes.
And I guess the last thing I want to ask you, because we do like to focus on the technology and the tools available in markets, do you see certain technologies or tools that would be very good for retail traders to be able to have access to in the future?
Well, first of all, I think that right now there's actually a lot of tools that are available for futures traders at NinjaTrader and beyond to help them ease their way into the business. First of all, everybody knows what a sim environment is. I think that's a great environment for a trader to go in and trade and test strategies. There's NinjaTrader is offering arena challenges now, where you can come in and you're able to participate in a competition, if you don't know what an arena challenge is, and see where you stand amongst the competition. There'll be 1,000 people, or they can grow up to who knows how big they're going to get within Ninja. But the recent one we did was 1,000 people, and you can compete for cash prizes. So you could test strategies, see where you are against the field. I think those are great tools, I think, just to test market action. But where I think things get really interesting is the AI story, because down the road, NinjaTrader is going to be offering an AI tool that help people actually go in and be able to code a strategy without knowing how to code. I think that's huge, because I think a lot of traders, just as I said, that some of them should go into other products. Some of them should be automating strategies. Some of them have great ideas for indicators. Some of them have great ideas for strategies that they don't know how to code, or they don't have the funds to go and code them. I think that's going to be an amazing feature on the platform that's going to be readily available for traders to just go in and say, talk to an AI person. I don't know who you're talking to, an AI machine, and help me with this code, and help implement that into my trading strategy. Because again, I think that it's funny, as far as we've come, it's still kind of archaic in the sense of, and we say archaic, it's still, electronic trading still really new, right? If you think about a timeline of life. But everyone's still point and click, right? Automation, the big boys do it. There's a lot of people at NinjaTrader doing it, but I think a lot of retail traders are going to start moving into that world. Some form of automation. It could be a hybrid model. Tell me when I should be buying or selling based upon these parameters, or it's buying and selling for me. And they can go into their AI tool that we have at Ninja and build that. So to me, that's something I think changes the game, and it helps the traders that are really committed get to the levels that they want to get to.
Well, thanks so much for sharing that with us, Anthony. It's always good to see you. I'm glad you took some time out of your busy schedule to sit down with us.
Always a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Right.